Hello everyone, Oz here from Fantastic Forum. Give me another look at my package. Sort of. For the last couple of years at least, I've been complaining more and more about how these statue prices have gone up lately, especially the shipping. Like I've been charged more for shipping one item than I paid for a quarter scale statue just 4 or 5 years ago. And it's not getting any better. I've canceled maybe three or four orders already because of the crazy shipping prices. So a few months ago, I decided to get something 3D printed, send it off to a painter, and see if I can get a great looking statue for a better price. It was this Jessica Cruz statue, and I'm happy with the statue. I think it looks great, but the cost of it, even though the painter I hired wasn't the most expensive, is a little bit above the middle. It really came to about the same price as just getting a regular quarter scale statue. Maybe I saved in shipping, something like that. So then I figured, well, why don't I just make it myself? And that's when I printed her. Well, printed and painted. We'll get into that later. But the beauty of getting your own printing equipment and painting equipment is I don't just have her. She has a buddy. And that there's for you too. I know some of you guys complain about when I do stuff like that, but that yell at YouTube, not me. Bonus, the skirt is removable. And yeah, and look, before I get it, this one leans. Okay, I know. She look, yeah, whatever. Let's get into it. For the plants, I went really simple, just a light green on the bottom and then a darker green on the top, kind of like a fern. I decided to make the shoes green on this one and actually spent way too much time making the bottom red in a way that made them look like fancy shoes and you'll never see. I looked at a lot of like Venus flytraps and they're not white. The spikes are usually kind of more of a yellowish, so that's the color I went with. I probably should have spent more time sanding and smoothing where she's glued together, but I got kind of lucky. You can't really see this unless you're this close. A lot of vine work on these, and you could see where it's rough because this is the first time I've ever had to do this. And here's the face. I have to redo the eyes a couple times. Yeah, up close you can still see a lot of the mistakes that I left in there, but you know what? It's like a painting. Take a couple steps back and she looks great. Which brings us to the green version. Now here you can start to see that a lot of the vines are a lot cleaner and crisper as I got better at doing it. There's the butt. The same concept for all the plants. The colors are a little bit off because at this point I was just mixing my own colors instead of buying them. So red shoes on the green one because there's just a lot of green on this one. I like the green version because without all those vines, you have more muscle definition and it's just a great sculpture. Okay, so this is the first statue that I've printed and painted to completion. Is the best way to say it. She's not the first one I printed. There's another one that I'm still working on because I'm trying to do something that in my head seemed like a really cool idea, but I don't know how it's gonna come out in practice. And the thing about these is when I printed them was in the middle of winter. So I mean, I had a printer that has a heater in it, so it would work. And obviously it worked. These are great prints, but as you saw in the close-up, there's some errors in the printing. And other stuff that I've printed since in warmer climate is a lot better, a lot smoother, and just better quality overall. But you know, this is still a really good statue, especially for the first one. It's clear all my mistakes with painting these vines, and they actually, if you look closer to my second one, there's a lot more improvement, because at this point I'd figure out a lot of my mistakes. Thought about going back and redoing this one, because this is also my first print. Kind of the sanding process, I think I might have overdone it in some areas and trying to get everything to fit. Also the printing in the winter, I mean, with the temperature fluctuations and expansion, and there's a lot of issues with these. And yeah, so she's got this lean issue that doesn't bother me too much. I think where I'm gonna have her, there's a wall here that she'll lean on, so I'm not worried about it falling over. But at some point I might just go in and glue the legs down, and that'll stabilize her a lot more. Because that's where the issue is, in the pegs that go into the pot. And yeah, that'll stabilize it. She'll be fine in the end. It's still, this one is my favorite. It's my first. You never forget your first. And yeah, I'm kind of happy with it, lean and all. Now this other one, her, I was planning on selling, and so I really took a lot more time, especially with the vines and making it look as good as I can for my skill level is I guess the best way for me to say it. So the skin tone is actually a little bit darker than I planned. I wanted to make her lighter skin, but it just kept coming out weird, and so I just kept spraying her, and this is the final color I just ended up with. That kind of looked good. I made the hair a lot darker red than the skin tone one, and this one is a lot more that comic book. I mean, her skin's green, so let's give her more of that comic book red. So I made the red a little bit darker, but I didn't want to make it too dark so that you can still, that flower still kind of shines through a little bit. Now when I opened this video, the skirt was on this one, and originally I printed a skirt for both, and I had this skirt on the skin tone one because it's the first one that I finished, and it was green. It was actually really pretty. I should have taken pictures of it, because it was a dark green and it had some yellow, like a plant, and it was really lightly painted, so it had a little bit of a satin look to it. But yeah, so I don't like the way the skirt looked on the skin tone one. I think she's fine with the vine bikini and doesn't really need the skirt. So I decided I'd use it for the naked one, because you know she's naked. Some people you have guests coming over, you want something to cover her. So I put it on this one, but because it was mostly green, it looked kind of weird. Not awkward. It just is too much green. There's already a lot of green. I mean, she's green, the plants are green. It was a lot. So I decided I'd paint it red, and it's better. I went with red because she's got the red shoes. I don't know what I wanted to do, but I made it red. Like when I look at, especially like in the back, I want tomatoes. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I had to go in and paint more vines, because painted all one color, and now I have to go in and fix everything. So yeah, it's an option. Like I said, my original plan was to sell her. I'm not so sure now, but at the same time, uh, I don't really want the green naked one. Maybe I'll make her a giveaway. I don't know. I'll either sell her, I'll give her away. I'll think of something. She'll come with the skirt. There's just, for me, there's just way too many mistakes to validate selling it for what in my head I want to sell it, and I don't know if I can let her go for a really small number. But if I give her, if we do a giveaway or something one day, maybe I'll throw her in, and you know, it's a free statue. I feel better if a fan or somebody, I think they'll appreciate it a lot more than somebody who buys it off me and then complains about all the issues, even though I described and would describe again to them all the issues. Hell, they could watch this video and see all the problems. Well, maybe not all. I'm sure there's more that I didn't cover. But yeah, all in all, I'm happy with this. Sorry, this lean is like really bugging me. I've been putting this in here. It doesn't make a huge difference. Like, she still leans a little bit, but it makes me feel a little bit better. It might be just something psychological with me, and that's the thing. It's not even really that noticeable in there. So yeah, there's not a whole lot to say about these, because the more I compliment them, the more it just feels like I'm, you know, over here pounding my chest and I look like a narcissist. So you tell me what you think. Number 1 and number 2. So until the next one, don't forget we stream live every Wednesday afternoon, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. We're on Twitch, we're on YouTube. Join us on chat on either one. We'll get it. We'll have a conversation. We're talking comics, movies, collectibles, all kinds of stuff. Every once in a while, some random tangents. It's all good and it's all fun. Yeah, hit us up, and until next one, go read some comics.